What is up, y'all boys? I'm finna pick up right where I left off at. We got about 5 to 7 days worth of notes. Nothing too crazy, but we finna get into it. My plan / notes, I plan to go back to school to get my associate's degree just to get something behind my name. If I enroll by May, I can take all my classes online and still work my full-time job. I'm pretty sure I can get done with the work within a year and then get my degree and then be chilling. Invest monthly into Roth high yield CD index fund, no big deposit. And I'm finna speak on that no big deposit soon, so just hold up. Put some of my monthly bills on my credit card. This is something I also planned on doing because I got a $3,000 limit on my Capital One credit card. And 30% of that is only $900, so I can put some of my monthly bills on that credit card and really pay back on it. Like I could put my car note on it and my insurance and maybe another one. And now back to talking about no big deposit on investing my monthly into Roth, CD, and index fund. We're talking about why did I not get all my tax money back? Bro, you do not get everything from your federal and your state. You get a percentage of that. If you have a kid and you claim them on your taxes, that is when you get all of your money back in money. Nobody told me that. I learned the hard way. I'm thinking I'm finna get a vending machine. I'm thinking I'm finna get this, get that. Whoa, that's like 12 months in the future now. Hopefully I'll have 2 of them by next year, but I found out the hard way when I ended up getting my return, but that's that. I'm just gonna end up putting like 500 in each account. It won't be no 1,000, 2,000 starting off because that's absurd. It's gonna be me putting 500 maybe in each account and then putting like 100 every month, 50 every month. Whatever I said in my previous videos, that's what it's gonna be. Put all of my money / most of it into some type of account that's building at a 3.75 interest rate or more. I got an email from Robinhood saying, open up a Robinhood Gold account, 4.2 interest rate. If I were to move all of my savings over to that Robinhood Gold savings account, my money would be building at a good rate. They offer a debit card so I can spend from the account like a normal bank. This CD account right here, Raisin, this is a bank that offers a high yield CD account with a 3-point-something interest rate. With that CD account that Raisin is offering, it doesn't offer a debit card with that account. So I can't spend from that money while it's building at that rate. But with that Robinhood Gold account that's building at that 4.2 interest rate, I can spend from that account because they offer me a debit card. Robinhood Gold offers you a debit card. That high yield CD account and that high yield savings account that Raisin offers, you can't spend from that. You can only fund that and that money will build at that rate. That's different. And the interest rate that they build, the interest rate is the interest rate. It doesn't matter. So when it comes down to that, I'm gonna end up putting money with Robinhood where I can buy, sell, trade stocks over me putting it up in some CD account with Raisin. It's not something you gotta think too hard about. Spend off credit cards only. So my spending power with credit cards that I got is $4,250. I could go max out all my credit cards and I'd end up owing that much. That's crazy. I'd never do it, but I'm just saying. My spending limit with credit cards is $1,275. Like I said, you can only spend 30% off each credit card until it affects your credit. I have one credit card with a $750 limit, but I can only spend $225 off of that before I breach that 30% rate. My Capital One credit card has a $3,000 limit, and 30% of that is $900. My Chase secured credit card with a $500 limit, I can only spend $150 off that. So that adds up to $1.2 thousand, $1,275. Next page, I'm gonna show y'all this right here. So I did some of the pros and cons of a liquid CD and a traditional CD, but that's something I'm gonna dive deeper in later on in the video because I ended up making that chart off of what I was reading out of the book. Like I said, I put everything in this notebook when it comes to me thinking about a bigger project, something new I could do, my plans, business plans, anything. If I feel like I can do it, I'm gonna do it and put it in this book. Landscaping business. My goal by June is to have my first job did and profit off of it. Long story short, I did this before with my dad in the landscaping field. I've cut grass and stuff like that, all that good stuff. So when it comes down to that, this is something I know I can handle and I know I can run. So hopefully this summer by June, I can have my first job did and profit good from it. Who knows, I might just do it for free. I might do it to get a feel of it, but for the most part, that is something I wanna start up. But for the next page right here, it says talk about goals in my calendar app. Let me show y'all something. This is another thing I should have put in that video where I talked about how I budget. Everybody has the calendar app on their iPhone, and the way I set goals is me on the 25th, that's when I get paid. I have 2 bills getting taken out of my account, my insurance and my phone bill on the 1st. I get paid again on the 8th of April though. I'm gonna add my phone bill and my insurance that I just spent. So I'm probably looking at around 300 and something. And from the 25th and the 8th, that's not a lot I'm kicking out. I can give myself maybe a $150, $200 budget. It just depends on what you want to do, and you can sit here and know how much you'll have by the 8th, and you can manage how much you kick out. This is something new I've been doing. It's me giving myself mini goals. Really, you don't want to go too far in the future with adding up paychecks and money you haven't got yet. I go 2 weeks at a time. I go from the time I get paid from the next time I should get paid. I just add up those bills and see if I got any money left over. And hopefully I can hit that goal. These notes right here, that came straight from the book. And like I said, I'm gonna be reading from the book later. Hopefully I don't gotta make a part 2, but I probably am. I'm not tripping. But for this page, we got the Dave Ramsey snowball method, debt snowball method. His videos are pretty helpful. I'll try to leave his link inside this video in the description so y'all can go and click on his channel. So the debt snowball method would start by paying on your smallest amount of debt. And once that's paid off, you would go to your next large amount of debt and you would start paying on it as normal, but with an additional 100 or whatever you was paying on your smallest amount of debt. And you keep doing that as if you never paid that small amount of debt off. And all of that is just going to your next largest debt or your next largest thing you owe. That process would eventually go on until all your debt is paid off. And that's basically how the debt snowball method works. When it comes to the avalanche method, this process is taking the same place. You're just starting with your largest amount of debt and then you're going down. I put this in my notes that Dave Ramsey says this process should get the average person out of debt in 18 to 24 months. I'm finna sit here and give you both examples of debt snowball method and debt avalanche method with my own debt on this whiteboard. I'm not finna sit here and give accurate numbers of my debt, but everybody has debt. I'm gonna just put some of my numbers right here. So we got my credit card that I spend daily. I'm pretty sure I owe like $24 on that right now. We got my Capital One credit card. Remember how I told y'all I got a $3,000 limit? I didn't max it out, obviously. So I'm right there at 900, but currently I owe about 764. And I also have an auto loan through my bank going right now. So I'm gonna just say 12,500. This is what we're looking like. The way the debt snowball method would work, let's say $50 right now. I'm paying $50 on my daily credit card. I'm paying $50 on it till it's paid off. Boom, we paid off my daily credit card. $50 is gonna go into this bill right here. That's my Capital One credit card bill. I'm trying to pay that off. $100 a month I was already paying on this Capital One credit card, plus this 50. That's $150 that I'm paying on this Capital One credit card. I'm paying this extra 50 on this Capital One credit card because I'm acting like I'm still paying on my everyday credit card. And that's all it is. After I get done paying 150 to that Capital One credit card and it's over with, we take that 150 and we add that to whatever we've been paying to that $12,500 loan. So let's say I'm paying about $300 on this $12,500 loan. We're gonna add 150 to that 300. That's 450. 450 I'm kicking out to this $12,500 loan. And that's basically all the snowball method is to me. The debt avalanche method is basically repeating these steps but going backwards. That's all it is. I hope that example was a good one. I know I'm gonna be using it. I'm currently using it, so that's just something. But next page up here, get approved for a $100,000 loan/grant. Use this to buy a luxury car/Sprinter van. Rent it out Monday through Sunday, 5 to 8 hours a day. That's around $5,200 a week. And we're talking about a luxury vehicle. You're talking about renting out a Sprinter van. I do want to sit here and do more research on it, but I'm gonna tell y'all everything I got written down first. This is a tax write-off under the section 179. Any vehicle over 6,000 pounds or under the business name can 100% be written off. The reason why this is beneficial being written off on your taxes, I'm gonna put it right here so I don't gotta explain too much, but that's why. You should make your 100K back or whatever you put inside that luxury vehicle. You should make that back in 12 to 24 months, but it really depends on your area and if you're putting that vehicle on the market to be rented out that much. You also need to do this under your LLC so it can be written off on your taxes. And we're on the last page. Go to SMB Market. Buy a $50,000 business, invest into a company, add technology, add equipment, add all the stuff they're not doing and grow their business. In the SMB market, this is a place I've already talked about in my first video. This is a place where people put their businesses up for sale. I can sit here and I can buy them. How do I buy this business if I don't got $50,000? This is called seller-based financing. To buy that $50,000 business, you would have to go through a seller-based financing or SBA financing. Obviously, you can go to the bank and get a loan and stuff like that, But the way seller-based financing works is when you go to the seller and you work out some type of contract and you end up putting up at least 2 months of profit and they pay all the expenses and something like that. I can't really sit here and tell you, but by all means, depending on the seller, you don't have to put the $50,000 up or however much the business is. Depending on the seller though, it's called seller-based financing for a reason. Obviously, you can go to the bank, you can go get a grant, you can go through many ways of getting a loan, getting money for the business, but in some cases you don't. I wrote this down again because it's been in my face and it's been all over my feed. I know I'm in a position to where I could go through and do this, but right now I pace myself, and that's something I'm gonna save later on in the future. The last thing I got down here was invest on Robinhood or Fidelity, buy oil stocks, and buy GTA 6 stocks. When I sit here and explain this is just off my information. So right now in the United States, gas prices are going up. And the reason why the gas prices are going up is because of oil. They're gonna get charged more, so they're gonna charge us more, just so they can keep making their money. And that's basically what that is. When you buy the stock on Robinhood or Fidelity, basically gas is gonna go up. Stocks, yada yada, can't really say how it works, but it's gonna have to go up. And that's what I mean by invest in the oil. This is obviously just what's been on my feed, so this is what's caught my attention. But buy GTA stocks. They're saying GTA 6 is 100% coming out 2026, and there's a stock for every single thing, every single product. This Snapple bottle right here, there's a stock for this somewhere. I don't know what brand, I don't know what company makes it. They probably make 1,000 more drinks like that. But it is a stock somewhere on Fidelity where you can invest into it. If they're finna come out with a better Snapple drink and a lot of people buy it, that stock is gonna go up. That's the best type of example I can put out there. When GTA 6 drops, everybody's gonna be buying it and playing it online, spending money on it. That stock is gonna go up. That's why it's good to buy right now. Gas prices are currently going up and they're gonna keep going up. And that's all I'm saying. That's it for the notebook though. Bringing back up the calendar and me setting mini goals for myself. On the 26th, I'm gonna open up that Chase account and I'm gonna get my paychecks routed to that account. That paycheck is gonna hit on the 8th of April. On the 8th of April, that's before the due date of them stopping the bonus. So once I get that $400 bonus, I'm good. I'm gonna route my paychecks going back to my main account. That $400 bonus that I should get on top of that paycheck inside my Chase account, it should hold my bills down. Like I said, I'm gonna be driving by, putting money in there when I can, so that's all that's gonna be. I went to the Chase Bank already just to verify that the $400 bonus is actually a real thing. They gave me this envelope of all the accounts and things they offer, and this is what any bank is just gonna do. I don't know if this made it to a part 2, but now I'm gonna be reading from this book. We got certifications of deposit. Certification of deposits, called CDs, are time certificates sold by banks. They are issued for a specific dollar amount for a specific length of time. If you are looking for safe and fairly competitive yields, this is a place for you. All you need to do is agree to leave a certain amount of money with the bank or credit union for a stated period of time, anywhere from a few months to several years. And that's just the term of CDs. CDs are 12 to 24 to 5 years. It really doesn't matter. When that time period is up, your CD matures or comes due, you get the full amount back plus interest. It says right here, CDs purchased at an FDIC insured institution, they're insured up to $250,000. It also says minimum deposits vary from several $100s to several $1,000s. Huge CDs, those of 100,000 and up, are called jumbo CDs. They pay higher rates. I don't know if the interest rates on jumbo CDs are actually that high, but who knows? 100,000 building at a 7.23 interest rate, that's crazy. Okay, next page, bump up CDs. Great if interest rates are moving up. You can also move to a higher interest rate, usually once during the term of the deposit. After reading that, liquid CDs popped up, and that's where I actually started taking notes in my book. So we're gonna go to that part that I skipped over earlier. Okay, so we got pros and cons of liquid CDs and traditional CDs. The pros of a liquid CD, you can pull your money out anytime. Money's still building at a fair interest rate. The cons are the low rates. But traditional CDs, these are the ones that everybody should be using, really. Pros are high rates. If you pull your money out of a traditional CD before your money matures, you'll get about months worth of interest taken from you. Is it really worth it? You gotta think about that. But back to the book. It says liquid CDs have not been major players in the world of bank certificates until recently. Most people who stash their money in a CD go for a traditional CD, but now banks are advertising liquid CDs hoping to attract business. You should know the pros and cons before you make a decision. Like I said, the banks just want your money. They really don't care what interest rate they're giving you. They just want your money. Liquid CDs are just now becoming popular. That's crazy, right? But liquid certification of deposits enable visitors to withdraw their money before the CD matures without paying a penalty for doing so. As you know, with traditional CDs, cashing in early means a penalty of several months worth of interest. And that is terrible, bro. But if you think about being hit with unexpected expenses, liquid CDs make good sense because you can get to your money immediately. On the other hand, if you know when certain financial things are gonna come up, like buying a house or a car, remodeling your kitchen, paying college bills, taking a vacation, then regular CDs are a far better choice because they pay higher interest rates. When you read this book, you get that straight from the book. Liquid CDs are not the only choice for handling financial emergencies, such as a layoff, illness, perhaps a need to help an adult child struggling financially. If you're concerned about handling unforeseen expenses, you may be better getting a rate with FDIC insured savings account. And this is exactly what an FDIC insured savings account is. So basically what it's saying, you would get a better interest rate with an FDIC insured savings account rather than a liquid CD. Just like with Robinhood, I got a better interest rate with a savings account than this liquid CD. And I have access to my savings account and I get to spend from my savings account. That's basically what the book just said. Boom. That's why I'm really still thinking about putting most of my money with Robinhood because they got a very good interest rate on their savings accounts right now. It says right here in the book, online banks tend to pay higher rates than the ones around the corner, but do not always. So check your local banks as well. Sometimes they may have higher rates, sometimes they don't. Okay, all the way down here, www.ally.com is paying a 2.15% for a 9-month liquid CD. There's no minimum requirements. You'll find one of the highest yielding CD accounts at Discovery Bank. This is paying a 3.50% interest rate. Sounds good, but the interest rate is only available on a very long 5-year CD. Caution, tap into your money before the 5 years are up and you will be hit with an early withdrawal penalty, 6 months worth of interest. This is the last page right here. What a difference a bank makes. Because banks have various types of CDs, it is absolutely essential that you shop around. Don't assume that all institutions have the same rates because it's just not true. What the book is saying is, look around. You see how I ended up finding that Robinhood account that's building a good interest rate? Every bank is different. Chase got some trash interest rates compared to some of these banks out here, compared to some of these sites. You get what I'm saying? Just do your homework. The national average for a 6-month CD as of 2009 was 1.75. It says interest rates on similar CDs are offered by banks in the same city that can vary as much by 1% or more. So Chase can probably have a 1% more on a CD account and Founders can probably have a percentage less on a CD account. It also says right here, some banks tier their interest rates, which means they pay higher interest on a larger deposit. We already talked about jumbo CDs, so if I'm putting 100K inside the CD account, this 3.75 interest rate better be by a 5 point something interest rate. You get what I'm saying? And banks can set any maturities they wish. Ain't that crazy? But that's basically from the book, and that's basically everything I have to talk about. That's basically everything I've written down between February the 10th to March 15th. Hopefully y'all watched this far and I helped y'all out a little bit. By all means, man, make those little goals on your calendar. Get your notebook, write your little goals down, write things down that you think about. Little stuff like that can help you be a better person. It can help you get here in life. And that's all this is about. But I'll see you on the next one, boys.